Hello, fifth grade. It is Wednesday, September 2nd, and here is your video for what we did in class today. If I can get everything set up. Here is the basics of what we did. We practiced our fluency. We reviewed our critical vocabulary words. We did a quick lesson on context clues. And then I did a mini lesson on text structure, and we answered the collaboration questions that were at the end of the text that you were supposed to read for today. So if you have not finished Winds of Hope, you need to push pause on this video and make sure you finish reading that before you start on today's work. So we're going to start off with fluency. I have uploaded a document to the fifth grade classroom. I guess I can show you how to get there. And it looks like this. And it says, use the second page of this PDF for fluency practice. So today we read about motors, I think. So I go to the second page and it says electric motors. And so we practiced reading like I read in class. And all I'm going to do for my online kiddos today is I am going to read through the whole text, and then you can rewind it and practice choral reading it with me, trying to read with the same tone that I use and with the same speed. So here we go. Electric motors. What do windshield wipers, DVD players, ice cream makers, blenders, toasters, automobiles, laptops, and walking toys have in common? They all have wires and electric motors. You can find electric motors in many devices, appliances, and toys all around people's homes, cars, and offices. Most of these devices are made in factories. The motors are often not easy to see. Electric motors are a very important part of our world. We rely on them every day. If you have ever played with magnets, you may already understand how a simple electric motor works. You may have done experiments with this in science class at school. Magnets have a north pole and a south pole. If you try to push the north poles of two magnets together, they will push away from one another. The same thing happens if you try to push two south poles together. If, however, you bring the north pole of one magnet close to the south pole of another, they will stick together. An electric motor uses magnets to create motion. To make an electric motor work, you will need two magnets that talk to each other. As the magnets switch back and forth between liking each other, sticking together, and disliking each other, pushing away from one another, they create a spinning motion. That is what an electric motor is, a spinning axle. And like I said, you can replay that, and then you can practice being Mrs. Shappett with my scratchy voice today and reading the document with me. The next thing on our list is to review critical vocabulary, and you have those in your, if you open Winds of Hope, you have all of your critical vocabulary words here. We did a quick turn and talk in class, but as long as you look at the the words and the definitions, that is as good as studying. So if you scroll down from your first page, you do have them all. You can make note cards to study at home. Remember, if you click it, it will give you the definition. These are also located in your hard copy of your My Book at the bottoms of the pages. And so that's an on your own. Context clues is next. We just did a quick review on context clues. I know you've heard this since you were a little kid, maybe even in kindergarten, but definitely in first grade. It just says, while reading, you might see words that are not familiar. The words and sentences around an unknown word or context clues can be clues to its meaning. One type of hint might be an example within the sentence of what the word means. And so here we have birds use a variety of nesting materials such as sticks, grass, leaves, or mud. Pretend like you don't know nesting. Which words in the sentence would help you figure that out? what words would help you know what nesting materials are? Well, after materials, they give me examples. And all of those words help me figure out what nesting means. The second example says some types of predators roaming the savanna habitat are leopards, cheetahs, and lions. Here your word is predators. And pretend like you don't know predators. What words would help you know what predators are? Well, it says that they're roaming the habitat. Oh, and here they are. They are, so here's my example words: leopards, cheetahs, lions. Those all help me know what a predator is. Oh Lord, I clicked the wrong button behind there. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so the next thing I did was a mini lesson on text structure. And I'm going to have you go for a walk with me while I find my 5th grade. Here we go. Doo-doo-doo. Find my 5th grade book. Text structure for nonfiction texts. Today we talked about 4 different kinds. Set this up here. Oops, stepping on somebody's artwork. The 4 different structures are the 4 different ways that an author might want to build their text or decide how they want to organize their text. The first one is compare and contrast, and you can see a Venn diagram. That's when you want to show any similarities or differences between 2 items. You might have dogs on one side and cats on the other, and then of course in the middle anything that they share. So the differences go on the outside and the shared traits would go in the middle. Another way that authors might want to structure their text is by showing you cause-effect relationships. And that's just saying that one thing happens because of another. You might see words like because, so, in order to, and as a result of, to help you know it's a cause and effect. The next one is sequential or logical order. And the author might choose to explain things in steps that they happened in. You would see words like before, first, next, then, last, after, and so on. And then the last way that we talked about today that an author might want to structure their text is by problem and solution. They may present a problem and then they would talk about a possible solution or possible solutions, and then maybe tell you which one they think is the best. You might see words like problem, solution, in light of, propose, or suggest to help you know that that is what kind of text structure it is. And so then we practiced trying to figure out what kind of text structure we had in the text today. And if you go to the 2nd page of your text, let's see, I'm taking you all around the room today. Here we go. And we reread these 2 paragraphs. They are coming from music, so they're actually going to be down there. Okay. I'm sorry, I thought they were up here for art.
No, that's fine. And then I'll bring them all up except the picker-uppers.
Right.
So
Sounds good. I am doing a video right now, though.
Oh.
That's okay. They'll be all right. So we're going to read the 3 paragraphs on this page and try to figure out what kind of text structure we see. William hoped that life could now return to normal. He'd worked hard to pass the exams to enter high school. When the term began, however, William's father explained that because of the drought, there was no money to pay his school fees. It appeared that William's education would end at 8th grade. Though he could not attend school, William still wanted to learn. He was curious about many things. He took apart radios, trying to discover how they made music. One day, turning a bicycle upside down and cranking the pedals by hand, he figured out that the dynamo that generated electricity for the headlight could be wired to power a radio instead. Some days, William visited the village library. It had only 3 shelves, but William found books that interested him. Science books about how things worked. One day, while looking for a dictionary on the bottom shelf, he found a book he hadn't seen before, pushed behind the others. It was an American school textbook called Using Energy. On the book's cover was a picture of a row of windmills, tall steel towers with blades spinning like giant fans. And so after reading that part of the text, then I want you to question, what text structure did the author use here? Is the author comparing and contrasting two things? Is the author showing that one thing caused another? Is the author showing a sequential order? Or is the author showing a problem and a solution? And in class today, we actually had, so you can pause me and think about it, but in class we had a discussion and we had 3 different ones proposed. The one that had the most votes was cause and effect, and that is the one that goes best with this text, because it's showing that because of something, then something else happened. So that was a quick mini lesson about text structure. And then the last thing we did was we wrote down some answers to, and if you click contents up here in this corner, you can go right to collaborative discussion. If you click contents again, it'll close that bar, and then you get your whole page. We answered these questions. This was the assignment for today. What details in the text show how the drought affected William and his family? Well, we wrote it up on the board. You can write whatever you like, but this is what we came up with. And you should, oh Lord, I spelled drought wrong. That's embarrassing. The drought caused, you can write mine in yours, you can write it in your book, or you can type it in. Caused them to not make money. They almost died. And then for the second question, what does William do to find the parts he needs to build the windmill? He found some random parts and took some other things apart. That's kind of what we came up with there. We kind of were on the hustle. So you could certainly finish answering the question by answering the second part. And then your job is to answer number 3. That is the assignment for today. I think that's it. Assign, review, vocabulary. That might be page, you already did your review critical vocabulary. Page 12 was already assigned, and that was due today. If you don't have it done, please make sure you do it. And that is it. Have a great day.